Good evening and welcome. I want to give a warm welcome to our podcast. This is Bob and Diane, and she's from Georgia, and I'm from California. And we are here to help you fight CPS and get your children back. And we care about you. We're loving people that really care about your situation. We also have been in CPS ourselves. Um, we have been fighting. I've been fighting them for 14 years. Started with me in 2010. And I know Danielle has three children, and I have six. Three older ones are adopted and three younger ones. And sad to say that one of her child, well, actually two of her child are kind of like AWOL. And what I mean by that is that CPS took my three children and we fought them and got my two boys back. But her daughter, who's 21 today, was 12 years old when she was stolen from us. So
Today's her birthday?
no, July 9th.
Oh, okay.
July 9th. My other daughter was May 2nd. So anyway, four of my children had nothing to do with the CPS case. Four of them, three of them had nothing to do with the CPS case.
And that's the ones that you got back?
The three younger ones were the ones that they took. And that was really, really sad. Okay. I want to give a warm welcome out there. I hope you all are listening. I first want to talk about sort of what you can do with this podcast. It's an interactive podcast. And let me go ahead and tell you one way you can interact with us. If you want to talk to us about CPS matters, on the screen you'll see there that you can make a comment. When you type into us, all I ask is your name, the city, state, or country, and be as complete as you can about your CPS case. That will help us from doing multiple guessing of, ages of children, how many children, if you're married or have a biological husband or a husband not, or a spouse is not there. So the more information you give, the better off that we can help you. We're not attorneys. We don't profess to be attorneys. We use the layman approach to tell you things that you can do to help yourself. I also have three rules that I go over with you that are real important that you should know about, that I didn't follow my own rules. And I'll help you find an attorney. Guess what most you need is help. And also, we can look up things to help you find things. We're learning stuff every day, it's something new. But I want to tell you about, who CPS really is. And the best way I can give an example. Oh, we got Faye in here. Great. Hey, welcome, Faye from Richmond, Kentucky. And we got
Natalia. She's been in here before as well.
Okay, do you know where she's from?
No, I don't think I remember, but that's the one you kept calling Natalie, and it's Natalia, remember?
Okay, Natalia, okay.
Yeah, remember?
Anyway, Natalia, if you could tell me that would be great.
I thought it was up north, but
yeah.
I'm trying to remember all these.
Yeah.
I get her confused with Rosemary, the one that was here yesterday. West Hollywood. Natalia's from West Hollywood, Florida.
Right? West Hollywood, Florida. There's a Hollywood in California too.
Or it might be.
Yeah.
Is that Florida or California?
Light on. It's hard for me to read in the dark and turn off the
California, Bob. California.
The hall lights.
Sorry. She's in California.
Yeah.
West Hollywood, California.
Okay. We're talking about ways to interact with this podcast. So it's very important that you feel comfortable enough to text a message in there. And when I say countries, I've found out that so far we have heard from Canada and Australia, United Kingdom,
Mm-hmm.
Ghana from South America, which is north of Brazil, south of Venezuela. Then there is Mexico and Mozambique in Africa, near Somalia on the east side of Africa,
Mm-hmm.
and Denmark.
Denmark.
And these are the people that have actually said we
Wales.
have CPS problems. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of interesting. One person from England recently said it was so bad that they
Wales.
say
Yeah.
it's just like ours here in the USA.
Yep.
So they're
They
trying to
said they
learn
do
how
it
to
right
do
there in front of your eyes and like on
it.
the
Yeah,
streets and everything. Like
right.
it's more.
So it's important you try to comment. Another way that you can interact with this podcast is you can call my number. That's my office number, 626-698-0990. And you can call in there and you can be live on the show. I won't show your picture, but you can be live on the show. And
Norway.
um,
Mm-hmm.
you just call that number 626. Now, that number is only available between the hours of 7 o'clock at night to 8 o'clock at night, Pacific Standard Time, and in the morning from 10 o'clock a.m. to 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. With that being said, um, during this hour is a good time to call. I can't answer it during the off time on that. So that is the second way to interact with this podcast. A third way is to be a guest on the show. And we have a great producer. Her name is Grace. She works really hard behind the scenes. And all you do if you want to be a guest on the show, and you can be live if you want to on cam, all you need to do is email grace at vincentwdavis.com. Grace at vincentwdavis.com. And when you do that, just tell her you want to be on the morning show, the evening show, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You got 12 shows to pick from. Excuse me, you got 14 shows. Doing bad math here. 7 days a week, twice a day, that's 14 shows.
Mm-hmm.
So there's plenty of room to have you on the show, and I'd love very much for you to talk. All you do is email grace at vincentwdavis.com. That's Grace. So you can text in, you can call in, you can schedule a time to be on the show. And um, so we had a couple people here that Kay came on, and then we have Natalia from
She was.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Oh, she's
She was.
from West Hollywood, California, not Florida.
Mm-hmm. No. Yeah, and she's the one that lives right there on the Sunset Strip in California.
Yes.
You remember? Yeah.
Wow, Faye, I didn't know there's a California, Kentucky, too. Yes, they do. So, anyway, I'm glad to have you guys start the texting. It's nice to have the room with some people.
Mm-hmm.
So that is really, really, really good. Now, I like to paint a picture of what CPS is really. The child protection system, as I call it, CPS, child protection system, has different names in every state. I know in Kentucky or Georgia, they have a different acronym. I know in Arizona they do. But what I'm talking about is the branch of social services that was created. And I'm glad you put that picture up. You read my mind, Danielle.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Whenever you say that, I know it's time.
Yeah, I know. The branch that's supposed to protect your children from neglect and abuse and do family reunification. Now, Danielle just put up a picture of the kind of people that you're dealing with. Now, these are 8 social workers in Prescott, Arizona. And in 2022, they decided to put some T-shirts together. And on the front, these ladies are proudly displaying they're professional kidnappers. And on the back of the shirts, they say, parents, do you know where your child is? And they proudly wore these out in public. And of course, right away, they got caught and they got fired, along with the DS director, Department of CPS. They're called the Department of Child and Children. There's children. No, they're called the DCS, Department of Children's Services. Department of Children's Services, DCS. Well, that director there in Prescott, Arizona was fired. That is the mentality of the people you're dealing with. They don't care. Why would they wear these outfits? And they're proudly wearing them and displaying them. So keep in mind, CPS is not your friend. They're going to trick you. They're going to try to make you sign papers. Do not sign anything. Do not do anything but yes, no answers with them. If they have a thing for you to do them, but don't sit there and give them information. Also, you'll find out that a lot of the cases in the country are not being reported to the state level. And if they're not, their case in CPS is invalid. You need to check on that. You need to go to the state and look at where the CPS is supposed to report your case to. And if it's not reported, it's not on a file of the state, then your case is not being followed, because at the state level, there is supposedly some help. There's an omnibusman in every state. And if you have a problem with the county Children Protection Services, you can complain to the state, and the ombudsperson will look into it. The ombudsperson will look into it. So anyway, that picture, is what CPS is all about. And you're not going to win anything with them. They don't like seniors. They don't like elderly people. They do not like parents. And they don't believe in reunification. Now, I have talked to one social worker that was on here. Kay knows who I'm talking about. And she, for 40 minutes, said how great her system was in Maryland. But I've had 3 or 4 people from Maryland talk to me, and they said it's not good. So I don't know where the social worker, I challenged her to call me again. I hope that she would stay with me longer, but she did talk to me for 40 minutes. But she was saying, we don't do that kind of thing. We do unification. We do this, we do that. In fact, she says she's a clinical psychiatrist. She has a degree in that. And that she, by the state, mandates that all CPS social workers have to go through additional training of 6 months. Now, I've looked into it. I've yet to find the training that she's talking about. I think it's all, she took it personal. I'm very hard on CPS. They're an important agency, but when I see these ladies very proudly wear that they're professional kidnappers, and where are your parents, where are your children? It's like they're implying, you don't know where your children, but we've kidnapped your children. And that's what they do. They do trafficking with their children and turn them into foster care. And I mean trafficking. That's illegal. They do alienation, which is illegal, where they alienate the child from the parents. In California, in the Orange County system, the children are never allowed to talk to their parents at court or anything else. There is visitation, but you're not allowed to talk about the case. So the children don't know if you're complying, you're making programs. They don't even know what happened. My kids, 2 of them were ripped from school. They didn't know what was going on. My other child was with me when I picked up from school. Then all 3 of them were herded into a foster care shelter next door to the juvenile prison. It wasn't next door. The play yard was their play yard. And there's a beehive that could have stung the children. How they're protecting my children from bees. Plus, it was dirty. The food was terrible. And their idea of schooling was to read a book to them. My kids were in high-level STEM classes. My 2 boys wanted to be engineers. My daughter was interested in sports. So, they all had aspirations. And, their idea is that, school, we could read a book to them. They have no comprehension about what it is to take care of a family, especially with my family. Because my family was healthy and they're great. The only problem I had is in-laws are very jealous that would call in as a layperson and report claims are not true. claims are not true. The problem with CPS you're going to find is they take your children right away.
Mm-hmm.
They don't, I mean, they're not in intimate danger. It says if the children are in intimate danger, they can take your children, but they have to have a court order. And it's us, we don't know about that. So if they say we need to take your children, they'll be fine with us. They do that. And that's a tragedy. Think about those kids being separated, and then where they're put in, they're going to get harmed. They're going to be sexually abused. They're going to be physically abused. The CPS system, and I know this from firsthand experience with the Orange County uh, CPS, Child Protection Services, of the CPS Child Protection System. And I tried to fight them for a year and a half, and I was really sparring with the director, who, when I finally met him, he worked in a building that looked like the Taj Mahal of India or the Emerald City of the Wizard of Oz. And he had so much gold around his neck, I thought he'd fall over. And it went in one ear, went out the other ear. So it was useless. It was useless. So all that you're listening in there, we have some things that can help you. We have another person.
That's me. It's me, Bob.
Oh, thank you. Oh, great. I
Faceless.
thank you. Yeah, I love kudos and stuff, and I got already 2 love emojis, which are nice. 2 of them, and then I got a thumbs up. Okay. I appreciate the emojis. I know Danielle does too.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you want to do, Danielle? You want to talk about some topics? You want to talk about the 3 rules? We have nobody calling in yet, and not too many people are asking questions, and we're at 17-minute mark into the show, so we have a good 40 minutes left.
Yeah, we got a good amount of time. I was trying to see this topic that they were talking, because I've noticed that they saying like the guardian ad litems, the lawyers, the CPS, the judges, they all work together, because I mean they're getting paid for doing what they do. And what I want to emphasize is, if people that are already so far in their case, go back and look at your paperwork, check that judge's signature, make sure it's sealed, got a seal on it, make sure because you can appeal your case. But I forgot what but you need to make sure, like I've noticed that nunc pro tunc is used a lot more. They're trying to backdate these things. So a lot of people need to check their paperwork on that, or their court orders, because that is a no-no. And I have recently...
Now, a lot of people out there may not know what a nunc pro tunc is, and you need to explain it a little bit.
Okay, so nunc pro tunc is something... Let me turn this down.
Nunc pro tunc
is something... It's now word. Before then. Yeah, it's a Latin word. It's a nunc pro tunc, and it's 3 different words. And yes, Faye, the guardian ad litem is supposed to do that, and they don't, because they, like in my case with my son, he went by whatever. I mean, I haven't even talked to him, but one time. I mean, he saw me one time, and that was in the courthouse, and I didn't even know who he was, and he's not talked to me since. So I don't even know what kind of investigation he did. He didn't question that. He didn't talk to any of my family, nothing. So, but nunc pro tunc is a Latin term, and it means now before then. What it means is they're trying to take something that happened now and backdate it to where it happened on another day, which was in the past, which is already in the past. Like, say if you got offered services or something at like today, and they tried to backdate it on a court order back in February to say they offered you services. Well, that's something I'm facing, and that's not right, because nunc pro tunc should only be used in... It shouldn't even be used really that much, but it's more for clerical error. Like if something was filed like a day off or something, not judicial error. And that's where a lot of people need, and also with your court orders, make sure these attorneys are not being able to go get your minute orders, because you don't want them slipping something in there, because I've learned that these orders get typed up after the fact. Like I asked for my court orders the day of, the court days, I needed it by the, the close of day, and it wasn't done. They said it would take some time to draft it up, and I'm like, how is that right? Like, so always get your minute orders, especially if they're denying you, like trying to put you off on certain court orders, because I know a lot of people have been having that problem. So make sure that you look into your paperwork and keep detailed notes. If you have to, get the minute orders. I mean, and I even say, like, if you can have your recording device in the courtroom, do it, because I'm sorry, we're having to look out for self now because they don't have our backs, and it's wrong. It's wrong. And I mean, if you can have something recording on you, a minute order, yes, Naja. It's the notes and the information that the court reporter is the one that does it. It's what the court reporter does. It's every minute of whatever happened in that court hearing. So, and that's what
you're available, by the way, from the court clerk. You can go to her office and ask for them.
And you should be.
If you don't have enough money or you're low income, they'll give it to you for free.
Yeah, and you should, and then also go get a copy of your court docket, like the timeline, and go back and look and see if they've slipped something in there. Because I've noticed on mine, there's court dates that I was never notified about. So that's something to backtrack on and go see. And just where they're gonna slip the stuff in at is where places that we would not think. So we're so overwhelmed with this that we would not think to look. Yes, Naja. And it's crazy because it, like, a few little typos, and so yes, they can use, yes, Faye. As a matter of fact, let me tell you, in my case, for instance, they never offered me services, and it was in 2023. They said they offered me the time that they offered me services was supposedly June, but they backdated it to February by filing a nunc pro tunc and amending the order from February 6th court date. So, and yes, they're missing, and they will give you the runaround. Oh, well, that one's not done yet, or yes, Natalia. So they can do that, Faye, and it's crazy that they would even, and that's, and the thing is, with nunc pro tunc, I wish I could play this video for y'all, but if I found something on TikTok that was about nunc pro tunc, and it talks about how it's not it shouldn't be used, especially if it falls under judicial error. It should make that court order automatically void. Like, you should like motion for review, and because that it should be for clerical error and a minor error, because even in the CPS's handbook, like the book that they're supposed to go by, their training manual, it says that nunc pro tunc is not supposed to be used, only in certain situations. And I promise you, I have yet to see anyone that has had that go on with their, sometimes it's in with like ICPC and other things, but it's very rarely used. Well, in my court case, it's used multiple times, and I'm talking probably about 4 court orders, and and none of it's true. Like when they got along with the case, when the case prolonged on, that's when we got to go back and retrace our steps and make fix our mess up. What it is they're trying to fix their screw ups. Don't give them room for that. Call them out on it and look at your paperwork, because that's what they did in my case. They went back and tried to fix detailed information that they filed in the court that's false, and they went back and was trying to change it. So because that's something you definitely need to keep an eye on, because they will try to do that. I have my I could show everyone.
Now we have a new topic that we discovered it from Carol from Indiana. Yes. This is the lady that was on her show 2 days ago, and she talked for a good hour, but she is looking at all the court cases and helping people out, and she's found a loophole within CPS.
Looks for the errors and stuff too.
And it's so if your case is not reported to the state, your county case, you see, you call the county. The county is the one that starts the investigation.
Yep.
But right away, when they start to fill out paperwork on you, they're going to give a number and they're going to forward it to the state. They got to show the state that they're investigating you. If it is not at the state level, they got a big problem because they don't have a case. They don't have a case against you. And that's something that could solve you right away. You could tell your attorney that to check on it, because if you're not registered at the state level, then that case is invalid, is what I've been told. Am I correct?
That's right.
That's right. And
Yes.
so where you would call, and I think Danielle and I found, did we not?
Yes. Well, we found that I was looking up this about the nunk per tongue.
You want to look at the Department of Child, Family, and Adult Services.
Yes, our Department of Human Services or Social Services
or
underneath your state.
Social Services or Human Services.
Okay, so
there's the Department of Social Services. There is the Human Resources, and then there is the Department of Child and Family Adult Services. This is all at the state level. And that's where you can, if you don't happy with your case, you have at the state level a thing called the Civil Rights Coordinator, and you can contact them. They're the ombuds person, meaning they can help you if you're not getting the assistance or you're not getting the cases there. So they give lots of phone numbers, lots of places to call.
I wanted to show everybody this real quick. Bob, could I show them this real quick?
Sure.
If y'all look on, well, I don't know if y'all can see it, but you see where it says nunk pro tunk. Well, which way am I going? See where it says nunk pro tunk right here? This is and then at the bottom of your court order, it'll have this as well down here. And so this is backdating. This was actually a court date that was July 7th that I knew nothing about, that they nunk pro tunked it for February 6th. So they back, and then also if you look at this judge's signature and everything, it says his jurisdiction or wherever, but it don't have his seal. It should have his seal.
That's right. You got to be really careful with the paperwork. You're right.
Yes, and it's supposed to have a seal. So all my court orders are pretty much, I mean, they can be overturned. I mean, they could be thrown out. I just got to file the right. I mean, I've just now discovered this, and I mean, and they, so, that's you always look for the nunk pro tunk, and it'd be at the bottom, and then if it always says at the bottom in the interest of, and if it's in, what is that? Is that italicized handwriting, Bob? That
yes, it is.
Okay, so if it's got to be that way though. It's got to be that way on the bottom of your court order for it. And then you go back and look at the final for the judge's signatures and look up above it, and it'll say nunc pro tunk.
Okay, she says that everything's e-file. Yes, you may be e-file, but you can get a copy of the e-file and you can print it out.
It's supposed to have the seal. It's supposed to have the honorable judge. It's supposed to have their jurisdiction, like what district or whatever, and what court, like judge of what kind of court, the superior court, state court, probate court of the county, and their district or circuit or whatever. And then it's supposed to have their seal. They're all supposed to have their seal. It's because it's stamped. They're stamped. But it don't. A lot of, I mean, and I've noticed a lot of people, but see, that's the thing. People have not been calling them out on that. And that's where.
Don't worry about the e-file, Noja B. It doesn't make a difference. It's more of convenience and so forth.
See, because they even talk right here.
Now, Faye wants you to know if you can send that order to her.
Yeah, I will.
Send it to her. Like that.
Yeah, I can. I can send it to her over Messenger. I will get it to her Messenger. Yeah, I got her. Yeah, I can send it to you.
Yeah, it's got to have the judge's signature, but it's also got to have their seal. You know, they have an imprint, emboss thing that it's a hand device that they emboss the paper, which is the seal.
I mean, it's just like because just like when they have the file, like you know how when they file your order into the system, it has the seal with and then like the deputy clerk and everything. They got to have that stamp.
It'd be embossed on there.
Yeah,
yes.
And stuff should not be handwritten on these things except for the wet signature from the judge. Like anything else should not be. Yes, they are, Ron. Ron Weber. Welcome in.
Hey, glad to have you, Ron. You want to call? There's time.
And you could get the originals from the court. Yes, you can. And if they
Ron,
don't,
love you. The call in at 626-698-0990, and you can have the floor and talk.
Has he called in from the other day? Did he ever?
He still hasn't. He called in at one time when there's 2 minutes left of the show.
Oh man.
You know, so
yeah, say I will send that. Yes. And I'd be more than happy to. But it's what? I have to I was sitting here reading a message. I'm sorry. And they are very corrupt. Like I got them they had a meeting today and I have yet to be in the meetings with but yet what I don't get is I found out recently that even the court system, I called to find out my address, and they have an address that I've updated my address with them last year and the year before, and now they have an address for me from 2011, and I've never even lived at that address, and they have that for me and my guardians, and that's crazy. So somebody's been messing with my file in the courthouse, the courts.
Well, I don't want you to tell you that a court-appointed attorney isn't somebody that's going to help you. Court-appointed attorneys are just, they're beginning lawyers, and they have a caseload of 30 clients, and they really won't do anything for you. In fact, they do more damage than good. You're better off firing your court-appointed attorney and being your own attorney, because at least you get to speak in court. That's another thing. A lot of you want to speak all the time, but if you have an attorney, you have to speak through your attorney. If you want to speak, you gotta approach the bench and say, Your Honor, I don't want the court-appointed attorney. I'm going to speak on my half. I'm going to defend my case until I find another attorney. And they can also have the case continuance too. You can ask for a continuance. There's lots of things you can do with the things in there. And so, be very careful of court-appointed attorneys. That's the worst case scenario. You use one. Mine did nothing. Some people replaced them 11 times or 20 times. They're worthless. They're in cahoots. They won't do any work. They won't meet with you ahead of time. They only meet you at your hearing. And that's not enough time to discuss anything with them. And they have their own thing they're going to try to go through it. It's almost like the courts have a script. The social workers, attorneys, the judge, the bailiff, the court clerk, and the children's attorneys in your court, they all work together with a script. How they're going to want the case to go, how they're going to do anything. And you just sit there and you're appalled. You're appalled at the things they get away with. And that's because we lack the knowledge. Danielle sometimes has internet issues, so she'll disappear for a bit, but she'll be back. Anyway, knowledge is the power. Knowledge is what's going to win your case. The more you know, the better off you are. And so you really want to scour the internet because it has everything for you there. You type in the question and you find it. And arrange your words is the most important thing. I like to go over rule number 1 that I always talk about, and that is to get an attorney. And a lot of you say, nah, I can't afford an attorney. I know you can't. But the importance of getting an attorney is the same analogy if you're going to have your heart worked on. Are you going to cut yourself open as a layperson and try to work on your heart? Are you going to get a plumber? Or you're going to get an auto mechanic to work on your heart? Or another layperson? Okay, we got a call. Okay. Good evening. Who's this I'm talking to? Hello? This is Bob Pace. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello?
Yeah, who is
it's
this?
Natalia.
Oh, hi, Natalia. How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. I forgot the city and state you're in.
Okay. I am in West Hollywood, California.
Right, you're West Hollywood off Sunset. I know, in
And
California.
I am in, yes. And you were mentioning how much knowledge you need, and it's true. I mean, to do all these cases.
I know the knowledge is the power. The knowledge is the power.
That's true. The knowledge is the power, and you know the thing is, they accused of me of being mentally unfit which is a strange thing because I'm not. I took all those psychological examinations, and they said I'm mentally almost. What's the word? I'm very intelligent.
Yes. Well, the problem being is that, first of all, if you're going to see a psychiatrist, it should be a psychiatrist you pick through your own medical plan. You know, if you're going to get a clinical psychiatrist or a therapist and they're going to diagnostic, you want to have your doctor do that. And don't let, the CPS workers, the child.
Because what they want to do is that script. Like everybody's crazy.
Yes. They have the whole case is all script. Yes, it's all script because now I look back at my case, which was in 2015 to 2017. It was all script. I realize it now by constant talking to you all that how much that it's all orchestrated by them. They're very deceptive. They will build you up. They will make promises. They always want you to sign things. Don't ever sign anything.
Oh yes. They actually wanted I think like one of my friends to sign something too.
Yeah.
But then he went and asked, what should I do? And then his friend said, don't sign anything.
Yes, you're right. You don't want to sign anything. And I'm saying it's best that you get a bona fide attorney. Welcome back, Danielle. Danielle's having internet problems, so.
I know, that's why I can't go online.
Yeah. That's okay.
My face continuously.
That's okay. That's okay. Danielle, do you hear me?
I'm covering it actually. Hi, Danielle.
Danielle, I don't hear your voice. I see your picture, but I don't hear your voice. She'll get it back. I don't hear your voice. I don't hear you talking.
Hello?
Yes, I'm still here, Natalie. I just
okay.
Yeah, it's like there. So what's the latest with your case? Well,
I'm still trying to get that ICPC because, like as Danielle said, they play with the documents, and I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know that.
Can you hear me now?
I know that my ICPC should be there, and my children should not be with this woman. They should be all together in Oregon.
Can you hear me now?
I know that.
Okay, for people that don't know what ICPC, it's a interstate organization to help.
Interstate compact.
Right. It helps to transfer children from one state to another state that need help or assistance. And so,
right.
So what is the status of your ICPC?
It's missing.
What do you mean it's missing?
So I have to call back. It's not in the file.
Oh.
It's not there for my girl.
Did you check the
wow.
court works file?
When my attorney was doing the appeal, we know he even checked again if they sent it, and it's not there because the judge, she promised to wait for the ICPC on a certain day, and it takes time, and she just ruled anyway, saying that the kids were comfortable with strangers. I have two daughters. living with a woman that is unbelievably crazy. That's a foster parent.
Wow.
Who just wanted him to profit. You know, so my son doesn't even know his own sisters at all.
Yeah, Faye pointed out that the CPS does not like to do ICPC because they lose jurisdiction and federal and state funding. That's why they don't like to do it. Welcome the Truth Movement. Glad to get you here. He says, don't get misled or misrepresentative. All you have to do
by law.
Yeah, is compel the court or put in motion to compile the court to get those records. They're yours by law. You need to request that document.
The best thing for everybody is to go to like the Hall of Records if they have them in downtown LA because
they do.
The court,
they do.
Children's court. I know they won't give it.
Yes, he
I
will.
tried many times.
You can request it. You can request it. I did. I got all my records.
Mm-hmm.
From the Children's Court or the Hall of Records?
I got it from the court clerk's office.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where they're
You're supposed to be able to get it from the court clerk.
The court has a clerk, and that clerk will have it. If they don't have it, they'll tell you where you can get it.
Okay, I have to ask.
You have to get the dependency court clerk.
Okay.
I don't know. Are you through the LA? You're doing it through LA County, but I know that where they have the judge rooms, they also have an area where the court clerk's office is, and there you can request it.
Okay.
Oh boy, hold on 1 second. Hold on one second. Hold on. This is Bob.
Hi, Bob. This is Mandy. I'm returning your message from my phone call.
Right. I have another person on the line. I can only talk to one person at a time. So I'll try to get back to you. Okay.
Okay, hon. Sounds great.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
I got you back, right?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, I had someone that wanted to talk, and I can only talk to one person at a time on my phone.
Right.
So I got Faye in the Truth Movement saying a lot of stuff.
Right.
They will stall as long as they can. That's what Faye says. The irony of that is to investigate themselves, and they always find themselves faultless. That's the way the government works. In Kentucky, they charge $2,000 plus for court transcripts. Well, if you're low income, they'll waive that fee, Faye. The family court by nature is usually private and not open to the public, mandated that way. Yeah, that's not being transparent, the Truth Movement. They got to be transparent on that. Now,
so basically, they're charging other people in other states for children's court documents. Is that correct?
No, Faye was saying that in her place, Richmond, Kentucky, it costs $2,000 to get the court documents. And I say, if you're low income, they'll waive that fee. Because
I know they can give you in California that they're free.
Yes, they are, but you have to qualify. You have to fill out a paper that says you're low income.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So.
That's Kentucky. I don't even know how they work over there. Oh, there was a video, though, I saw once that they were prowling around neighborhoods to steal children.
Oh,
from Kentucky.
I believe that.
Social workers.
I said I believe that because I have my pink ladies in Prescott, Arizona that has on their T-shirts.
And I also have one around here too, and she walks her dog. And she said she works for older children and teenagers. But to She's always looking for somebody. Those pink ladies are disgusting. They're like the real terrorists.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Because I feel that that people should understand the amount of terror that we all experience through DCFS, and I'm making a little. Hopefully, we all, with our knowledge here and awareness, we can help others, because people are in a what's the word? They are in a different state. They don't understand how bad it is. They don't know.
Yes. Hey, Faye, you need to go to the state, to the Department of Child and Family Adult Services in the state of Kentucky, and demand those papers. You need to talk to the ombudsperson, who is the civil rights coordinator. That's who you need to do, Faye. You need to try that and see if that works any better.
I did that once. I called the state.
Ombudsperson, yes, the state.
So I did, and they were helpful.
Yeah.
But they were like saying, "Why is this happening?" And stuff. And they wanted to they even made note of it. So I don't know what happened after that, but they were a little helpful.
If it's under 18, they are private. Yeah. But
I agree too. Truth movement, but the parents, you can get that documents. You need to do a lot of complaining. I'm sorry, but it does help. And if you got an attorney, you got to do so. Let me do this. Can I take the other call now, or is there something else you'd like me? Okay, thank you. I'm going to sign off then.
Thank
okay.
you.
Thank you.
Hello, I got you back. Are you still there?
Hello, I'm here.
Good. You can go ahead now. Now you can talk.
Okay.
Who do we have on the line? Introduce yourself and where you're from.
My name is Mandy Harrison. I'm from Washington, Yakima County.
Okay, this is Manny from Washington. And what is your question?
Well, I guess my question is, I'm in a point. I kind of have more of a story to share.
All right, go ahead and share the story. Go ahead and share the story.
Okay. I'm 47 years old. I was 31 with my first child. I have a situation where CPS did not actually come in. CPS they did come in and they did an investigation or whatever. The first initial face-to-face, which is an IFS, they conducted their interview or whatever. We requested that they bring the sheriff with them because we had numerous interactions with them regarding my ex, who is addicted to methamphetamine and is very, very vexatious. He's very vindictive. As you can hear my daughter in the background, we still have our daughter. They came and took, I guess, 3 days later after they did their investigation, they ended up deciding to remove my oldest child only. So with the initial investigation that came out, they didn't decide to remove any kids at that time. They felt that it was not necessary. They weren't even sure if any laws had been violated or anything like that. So 3 days later, after they did their own interrogatory, they removed my oldest son, claimed to take him to a CAC, and they would return him after the CAC was done. So basically, the sheriff kidnapped my oldest child because he did not say there was protective custody involved, did not follow the RCW 2644 at all. And as a result of that, my son ended up being placed in a aftercare center or whatever called I don't know if I can give away all these names, but anyway, there's a care center that he was taken to that also made a referral because of things that they talked to him about, that they ended up getting an allegation out of that. Then it progressed to the point now where he's dependency, and now they're wanting guardianship because they've offered me no services whatsoever, at least not on the formal end of it. They've asked me who I want to go see for counseling. They want me to do mental health counseling, parental assessment, but there's no valid complaint. So now the middle 3 children that I have with my ex, who started all this, he has temporary custody of them, violating the order of parenting plan that we already had signed back in 2020. And as a result of this case with my oldest son, he's taking advantage of that and getting basically all the parenting plan stuff reversed and changed over without even having to go to court. Because CPS isn't involved with them, they said, but yet
they're giving him legal advice, and I have all this documentation that shows they've way stepped outside of their parameters of legality. So they left our youngest, my fiance and I's youngest, in our care. She was 2 at the time. She's now 4 years old. This has been 2 years ago now. This is still going on for 2 years. We've been in hell for 2 years.
Wow.
Sorry, did I lose you?
Yeah, that is a long time. Wow.
It is. And the thing that sucks is there's still been no services offered. We still have had no help. And our youngest child, she's upset. She, 2 years old, they can comprehend.
Yeah. Have you tried to go to the state and see if the case has been reported to the state?
Explain the state. What do you mean?
Okay, we found out the last couple of days ago a girl named Carol from Indiana has been helping out people with their legal matters, all different areas besides CPS, other things. And she said that if the county doesn't register your case with the state, then they don't have a case. And so what you need to do is you need to go to, let me get the agency you have to go to. You need to go.
The CPS office is the state level. They're involved, but the county was the one who acted, I believe, on the color of law. The county acted on behalf of DCYS because there was no court order. In order for law enforcement, I don't know if anybody knows this in Washington State, in order for law enforcement to remove children from your home, they have to have a court order.
Right, they have to have a warrant, and it's done from CPS. It isn't done from the police. It's done from court, by the way. The judge has to sign it.
Well, exactly. The judge has to sign it, or they have to feel that the protective custody is necessary. Meaning, there's a parameter of law. It's RCW Title 2644, and that has all the parameters of how they are able to do that without a court order. Which there's certain things that they have to do.
Well, that's if there's extreme danger. For instance, if the child's being slammed against the wall, there's gunshot going off or knife shot, but they just can't take a child without your permission.
Exactly. They cannot, and they also have to write down why. They have to do in writing, according to 2644-050. They have to put down in writing why they were removing the kid, what extreme danger exists, and where you need to go to file for whatever you need to do. The legal part of that you need to get in contact with, like the social.
Well, I'm just telling everybody.
None of those things happen.
Right, you need to go to your Department of Child, Family, and Adult Services in your state at the state level and talk to the civil rights coordinator. The civil rights coordinator. You need to find out if your case was registered, because if it's not registered, then the county does not have a CPS, does not have a child case against you.
Right.
Oh, we're dependency court. So how would they do that without being a court? The court is supreme.
No, the county can do things illegal.
Okay.
You have to forget the CPS system is broken. They're their own law. They do not believe in civil rights or constitutional rights. They're not transparent. They're not your friend. They use deceptive tactics. They're evil. So you gotta fight them on technicalities. And if that case is not registered with the state with that number,
I'm on the phone, honey.
they don't have a case. They don't have a case.
I understand. I totally understand. So
I'm just trying to find loopholes that can help you. I mean,
no, please, I'm looking for anything at this point.
And I'm
the way
saying,
they're going to try to get everyone is little things. It's the little things that the naked eye wouldn't think about. The naked person, like not the naked person, the naked eye wouldn't see, or the little typos. It's the little things that we would overlook.
And my oldest son now doesn't want anything to do with me because he's been so coerced and programmed and coached and groomed and just all these horrible things. Or he thinks I'm just the most evil piece of what in the world, and it's not okay.
Yeah.
Because before this all happened years ago, he and I were really, really close. I'm devastated.
Oh, I know. CPS is notorious breaking apart the families. No question about that.
Family division.
That's very detrimental to even him. Bob, that's why your story caught my attention, because particularly with your kids and how you talked about how they tracked with your daughter.
Oh, it was so terrible because, they did revenge. And my children were not in desperate needs for them to be taken in the first place. I was charged with neglect, and the neglect was because I allowed my parents' belongings to be in my household, and my parents were dying, and I was sorting through their belongings, and I moved, 4,000 square feet of their home into my home. And you can imagine, and I had like, yeah, so neglect, and they were taken right away, and they were not in danger. They're in school at the time, and the boxes do not fly upstairs and attack the kids. The furniture does not walk upstairs and attack the kids.
I don't know if you're talking to anybody right now that's dealing with the educational aspect of neglect or whatever, but the COVID situation is really not even being acknowledged when it comes to that. And so my kids were attending remotely. My oldest was really, and I'm not going to say he had some behavior problems, right? We were working through some things, but he refused. And, you can take a horse to water. You can't make him drink. Mm-hmm. I was getting every resource I could put together to get him to try to do some education, because putting him back at school wasn't an option at the time because we had a newborn, and I just didn't feel that it was safe to consider all the unknowns, and so we were just playing on the side of caution. But he refused to do the work. Okay.
Right.
He refused to do the work, and so they're trying to say that I was educationally neglecting him, but the thing was, no, he was neglecting himself, not utilizing resources. So there's just absolutely no accountability for the children's part of anything. And everything is on, parents. Yet at the same time, they can't really say the parent did or did not do everything within their ability to do either, because that's not provable. Yes, I did pull my kids out of the public system, and I did have it was one summer, and because of the allegations, he's saying that, he has a 6th grade education level, and he's now 9th grade. That's the case. Anyway, there's just no way to. I just feel like an uphill battle, because with him not wanting to return home, I know there's little or less or nothing I can do about that now that he's 15, and so that's where I lose, I guess, my tenacity to go after this stuff. But I know morally and principally I can't allow this to continue. I need to get on a board of somebody that needs. My story needs to be out there so people understand. The more stories that are out there, the more people can get involved with this, the less power they'll have.
Wow.
It's
I'm looking at our clock right now. I heard you. I'm looking at our clock. I have right now about 2 minutes left of our show, so I got to wind down and close it. But I'd like you to call again tomorrow, if you like, at 10 o'clock in the morning. That's my next time to show at Pacific Standard Time. I want to thank the Truth Movement for saying all the stuff that you had said there. I appreciate that. Faye, I'm hoping you're feeling better. I'm so happy to have you here in our room. You've come up with a lot of great ideas and so forth. I want to thank also the let me see who else we had here. Yeah, Naja B. I want to thank very much for coming there. Natasha from West Hollywood. Natalia from West Hollywood, California. Ron Weber, I'm so glad that you're still around and listen to me. And thank you there. Yeah, the Truth Movement, I've already said. Let's see. And I've talked about Naja B. Yeah, Naja B. Get a real attorney there, Naja B. Don't go for the court appointed and so forth.
No, don't do that.
And
court appointed stopped me to doing the defendant in the first place.
Yeah, right. And I want to thank Danielle, my co-host. Thank you so much for sharing and helping out. I know all the people listening. We are there for you. We're there to fight for you. I didn't really get to talk about my rules, but my rules are covered on my other shows. The rule about getting an attorney, the rule about your paperwork, and the rule about saying no and don't let them take your children. So those 3 rules, keep that in mind. But I want to thank you all. And again, thank you for calling in and so forth.
Keep fighting.
Yeah, and then keep fighting. And God bless you all. This is Bob and Danielle signing off.